Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Yadkhulu rajulun wa yusallimu. A man gets in or a man enters and he greets. So now we can see yadkhulu is from number 1, dakhala yadkhulu, and sallama yusallimu is from number derived from number 2. A man enters and greets. Al-mudarrisu ba'dama yaruddu at-tahiyyata. Okay, now ba'dama, I hope you remember that what kind of ma it is. We have discussed that whenever ma comes after a dharf, after an adverb like ba'da, hina, so after that, whenever it comes, then it will be al-ma al-masdariyah, ma of infinitive. So ba'dama yaruddu, radda yaruddu is to respond or is to reply. Tahiyyata, hayya yuhayyi tahiyyatan is to greet. So after replying to the greeting, ya ikhwanu, O brothers, hadha huwa al-muraqibu al-jadidu. So we discussed in the previous lesson that this huwa is ad-damir al-fasl. It is used to separate the subject and the predicate. It does not have any meaning and it does not have any i'rab. So hadha huwa al-muraqibu al-jadidu. This is the new controller. Man kana ladayhi su'alan falyas'alhu. Okay, now I have a question. Man kana ladayhi su'al falyas'alhu. What about fal? Do you remember what kind of particle is this? Fal?
Kind of this fal, wal, what is that?
Thummal. Yeah.
Thummal.
So this is lam al-amr, right? Lam al-amr. And we will see like more details about it, inshallah. So man kana. Man is a very comprehensive particle in Arabic language. Man is used for masculine and it is used for feminine. It is used for singular and it is also used for plural as well. And we can see over here that man kana ladayhi su'alun, whoever has a question, falyas'alhu. So yas'al, so we can see that the lam in the end will be sakin. Let him ask. Falyas'alhu, let him ask. So we know that this lam al-amr gives the meaning of let him or let, or it gives the meaning of should. And as he said, like man can be used for singular, as we can see over here, man kana ladayhi su'alun, whoever has a question. And also in the Quran we have wa minan nasu man yaqulu amanna, and from the people there are some who say that we believed. So amanna is plural, right? So in the Quran you can see that sometimes it is used for the singular and sometimes it is used for the plural, and I'm talking about man, that it can be used for singular, it can be used for plural, and similarly it can be used for masculine and also for feminine. After replying to the greeting, "Oh brothers, this is the new controller. Whoever has a question, then let him ask." So this is what we call lam al-amr. We have discussed it several times, so I thought this is maybe the last time that we are going to discuss about it. So what is basically lam al-amr? It is similar to, we have like la an-nahiya, where we ask someone not to do something, a lam of prohibition, and similarly we have fail al-amr, and we have here lam al-amr, which is used to give a command to someone. That is what we need to know. So do we use it to command to the first person or second person or third person? When I say idhab, you go, or I say la tadhab, you don't go, who am I talking to? The third person or the second person or the first person?
Second person.
Second person. I say you don't go, la tadhab, or I say idhab. So we have seen that whenever we make fail al-amr or fail al-nahi, we make it to the second person, al-mukhatab, which is basically tadhabu, tadhabani, tadhabuna, tadhabina, tadhabani, tadhabna, and then we have first person is adhabu and nadhabu. Lam al-amr, please remember that it is only used for the third person, al-ghaib, and it is used for the first person, al-mutakallim. As we know that in Arabic we have 14, you can say, forms of every verb, right? and 14, we have 6 for the third person, and we have 6 for the second person, and we have 2 for the first person, right? So here, the ones that we have to the second person, it does not concern the second person here. Lam al-amr does not concern the second person. It will always come with the first person, or it will always, sorry, third person, or it will always come with the first person. What is first person? For example, adhabu and nadhabu. And if you want to say let's go, so we will say linadhab. And if you say I want to go, liadhab. And what happens after that? After lam al-amr, the mudari becomes majzoom. Please remember that after lam al-amr, the mudari becomes majzoom, as we can see over here. Fal yas'alhu. So it is basically yas'aluhu, but the mudari becomes majzoom. And it has 4 forms that have occurred in the Quran. So it can be li. And how do we differentiate between lam al-ta'lil and lam al-amr? After lam al-ta'lil, the mudari will be mansoob. It will take fatha, or the noon will be dropped. But after lam al-amr, the mudari becomes majzoom. That means it becomes sakin. We have discussed the example. Li yunfiq dhu sa'atin min sa'ati. Li yunfiq, let him spend. So in the Quran, when you see that after lam, which is lam al-maksura, when the mudari is majzoom, that means it is lam al-amr. And it will always come with the third person, or with the first person. Okay, now if you look at the example from the Quran in Surah Al-Alaq, verse number 17, فَلْيَدْعُ نَادِيَهُ. فَلْيَدْعُ. So if you see that, open your Mus'haf, and you will see that we know that it is fal, and we can see that this is fal. So the lam will be sakin, and we know that it is basically fal yad'u, right? Yad'u. So basically it is yad'u, but when we have fal before this, then it becomes majzoom, and it will be written like this in the Quran. Only it will be ain. That means it has become majzoom. Fal yad'u nadiyah. Let him call his associates. And when you look at the translation, fal yad'u nadiyah, another is zabaniyah, and we will call the angels of the hell. So, and similarly we have فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ, right? فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So what is this basically? It is basically it was basically يَعْبُدُونَ. What was it? يَعْبُدُونَ. But we know that when we have fal before it, and this is lam al-amr, one of the forms of lam al-amr, then in the Quran it becomes فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. So you can see in the Quran this example as well. So whenever you have li, fal, wal, and thummal is only used in the Quran twice in Surah Al-Hajj, whereas li, fal, and wal are used a lot in the Quran. So inshallah you will see that this is lam al-amr, and it is only used for the third person and for the first person. Yas'al. Yas'al, what is this, the first person or the second person or third person? Yas'al.
Third person.
Third, he asks, right? Yas'alu, yas'alani, yas'aluna, right? Tas'alu, tas'alani, yas'alna. And when you talk about the first person, you say as'alu and nas'alu. Ya shaykhu, O shaykh, minna, from us, man yuridu or man yuridu. So if you don't want to follow the rules of the tajweed because it's not Quran, so we will say man yuridu. So again here, it means whoever wants. Whoever wants. An yashtarika. So we know that after an, the madari becomes mansoob. An yashtarika fi mu'askaril jamia. Fi, in mu'askar is the camp or the camping place. Al jamiati, of the university. So askara, yuaskiru askaratan, that means this is ar-rubai al-mujarrad, the verb that has 4 root letters. And mu'askar, so what do you think? Is this ismul maf'ul? It's on the pattern of ismul maf'ul, right? But then camp is what? Is it a place? Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, so it will be dharf makan. Excellent. We know that in rubai, or we have like mazid fi in thulathi, and we also have rubai. So please remember that whenever we have ismul maf'ul can also be used as dharf makan or zaman, and we know that it is used as a place, so it is used as dharf makan. So the teacher says whoever wants to participate, let him participate. Yeah, min ya shaykhu minna man yuridu an yashtaraka fi muaskar al-jamiati. So, O Sheikh, there are some among us who want to participate in the university camping. And we will see that this man also, we can see that it is used for the singular. Afa yusajjilu ismahu ladayka al-an. Afa, so we discussed in the previous lesson that whenever we have fa, or we have waw, or we have thamma, then before that we always have this hamzatul istifham. It comes before that, right? Afa yusajjilu ismahu ladayka al-an. Shall he register his name with you now? So the students are asking, there are some among us who want to participate in the university camping. Shall or does he register his name with you? Because it's a question, so it can be translated as both. Shall he register or does he register his name with you? Al-Muraqibu, the controller. Now the controller says, Naam, yes. Hada, yes. This. Wa uridu, and I want. An, what will be the ending of adul? An adullakum, right? An adullakum. Because of an, we know that it becomes mansub. So he says, Wa uridu an adullakum ala amrin. So he says, I want to guide you to a matter. So it's a matter because we have ala amrin. Fihi, in it, ajrun, a reward, insha'Allahu, if Allah wills. So he says, yes, this and what I want to guide you to a matter that has a reward in it, if Allah wills. Min talabil mahadi, of some students of, or the some students of the college, manhum bihajatin ila musa'adatin, who are in need of some help. Ila musa'adatin, some help. Sa'ada yusa'idu, musa'adatan is to help. So min tulabil mahadi, from the students of the college, manhum, who are bihajatin, in need, ila musa'adatin, of help. So the teacher wants to say that, so there are like of the college students are some who need help, right? Fasa'iduhum. What about sa'idu? Yes, does anyone remember? Fasa'iduhum. Sa'ada yusa'idu musa'adatan. So sa'id is fi'l al-amr. Fasa'iduhum, and help them, mimma, from what? Atakumullahu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So the teacher is asking them to help. Who will help? Those who have been blessed with something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have to help their friends. Now we can see over here, and we have discussed that after min, when we have the ma, and this ma has alif, so it's basically the combination of min plus ma, right? Min plus ma, and it becomes mimma. So it is ma al mausula, whoever Allah has given. And in the Quran we have wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. So from what we have given them, they spend. Wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun, and we have the same expression over here. Man arada an yusa'idahum. So after an again, it will be yusa'ida, whoever wants to help them. Fal yattasil, again what do we have? Lam al-amr, fal, yeah. And after that, the mudari becomes majzoom. Fal yattasil, let him contact. And ittasala yattasilu comes with the preposition of be. Fal yattasil bi amini, let him contact the secretary. Sunduqil birri, of the treasure of piety, or the treasure of righteousness. So we can see that amin is mudaf, and sunduqi is also mudaf ilayh, and al-birri is also mudaf ilayh. So the teacher says, whoever wants to help them, let him contact secretary of the treasure of piety and righteousness. So here, inshallah, we will discuss in detail min tullabil mahadi. We will discuss in the lesson, inshallah, in the exercises in detail, that this kind of min is basically used to specify, and it gives the meaning of some. So of, as we can see, of the some or of the college students are some, as we can see here, who need help. Min talabil mahdi, man hum, man, as we know that again we have discussed that it means who, and hum means they. Bihajatin ila musa'adatin, they are in need of some help. So help them from what Allah has provided you. So as we can see over here, from what Allah has provided you, fasa'iduhum mimma ataakum Allahu ata yu'ti ita'an is to give. And then the teacher says, man arada an yusa'idahum, whoever wants to help them, falyattasil bi'amini sunduqil birri, whoever wants to help them, let him contact Secretary of the Treasure of Piety or Righteousness. So let him contact falyattasil. So we can see that this is lamul amr. So alhamdulillah, our lesson is complete now. We can do the exercises now. Tamarinu. We know that tamarinu is on the pattern of mafa'ilu, and it is mamnu min as-sarf. That's why it does not have tanween. Ajibu anil asilatil atiyah. Answer the questions. Limadha yuridu al-mudarrisu. Why does the teacher want? Tarjamata al-kutayyiba. Tarjamat al-kutayyiba. Why does the teacher want the translation of the booklet? Yes, does anyone remember? Tarjama. Yes, tarjamata. And why tarjama is mansub? Because yuridu, as we know, requires object. And it basically requires two objects sometimes as well. So here we can see that al-mudarrisu is the fa'il and tarjama is maf'ul bihi. And tarjamat al-kutayyib is mudaf ilayh. Yes, does anyone remember why he wanted the translation?
So he wanted to distribute to the new Islamic brothers who has converted to the Islam.
Mashallah, tabarakallah. Yes. Yuridu an yuwazzi'a al-kutayyiba al-mutarjama. He wanted to distribute the translated booklet ala ikhwanin hadithi al-ahdi bil-islami, those who are new to Islam or those who are converted to Islam. Aina wulida Ammarun, where was Ammar born? Wa aina tara'ra'a, and where did he grow up?
He was born in France, is that?
France. Okay. Wulida Ammarun fi Barisa. Yeah, in Paris, France. Excellent. Wa tara'ra'a fiha, and he grew up in it. And we know that Ha refers to Paris because the cities in the names of the cities or the cities in Arabic are feminine. So that's why. And the pronoun that we have is feminine as well. Kam sanatin baqiya abuhu fi Fransa. How many years did his father stay in France?
Hamsa
ashrata sanatan. Excellent. Yeah, 15. Yeah. Baqiya abuhu fi Fransa. His father stayed khamsa ashrata sanatan, 15 years. And we know that the numbers from 11 to 19, except for 12, they are mabniyun al-fatha, and the ending does not change. It is always mansub. And after that, the madud, or the one that is being counted, is always singular. Okay. Now we have some details about ar-ruba'i. We discussed in the beginning of the lesson, and inshallah now we will see what the Shaykh is telling us over here. Al-fi'lu imma thulathiyun wa imma ruba'iyun. The verb is either triliteral or quadliteral. That means a verb has either 3 root letters or 4 root letters. So that means we don't have khumasiyun. We don't have a verb that has 5 root letters, aw sudasiyun, or the verb that has 6 root letters. Alhamdulillah. So we have only the verb which has either 3 root letters, and these are the base root letters, or it has 4 root letters. فَالثُّلَاثِيُّ مَا فِيهِ ثَلَاثَةَ أَحْرُفٍ أَصْلِيَّةٍ. And we know that in the verb that has 3 root letters, it consists of 3 original letters. ثَلَاثَةُ أَحْرُفٍ أَصْلِيَّةٍ, the 3 real root letters. Nahwu, for example, kataba, so there is nothing extra into it. But when we talk about sallama, then we will say that is a thulathi al-mazid fi, right? Al-mazid fi, because we have 1 extra letter into it. Sallama, and similarly inkasara is also mazid fi. Waqad darastahu, and you have already learned about it. أما الرباعي فما كان فيه أربعة أحرف أصلية. As for the verb that has 4 root letters, then all these 4 root letters are original. There is nothing added to that. وهو إما مجرد وإما مزيد. So it is either مجرد أو مزيد. مجرد means that it only consists of 4 letters, or there are 4 letters plus it has 1 or 2 extra letters, as we have discussed in the beginning of the lesson. فالمجرد له باب واحد, and we have seen that الرباعي المجرد has only one bab, وزنه فعلل. And on this pattern we have learned waswasa, right? Waswasa yuwaswisu waswasatan wa wiswasan. Nahwu, for example, tarjama, like he translated, ba'thara, to scatter, harwala, to walk faster, and daharaja, to roll, and farqa'a, to crack the fingers, like to knuckle, as we say, and zalzala, to like shake violently, and then waswasa, we have learned to whisper, and qahqaha is to giggle. Okay, so these are what? These are all الرباعي المجرد. So tarjama, يترجموا, بعثر يبعثروا, هرول يهرولوا, دهرج يدهرجوا, فرقع يفرقعوا, زلزل يزلزلوا, وسوس يوسوسوا, قهقه يقهقه. So we can see that all of them, the mudari comes with you, and we can see over there. والمزيد له ثلاثة أبواب. And for the mazid, there are 3 bab, wahiya, and they are tafa'alala, nahwu tarara'a. For example, we have tafa'alala and we have tarara'a is to grow up, right? Tamadmada is to wash the mouth, and tadahraja is to roll by itself. To roll by itself. Then we have if'alalla, nahwu itma'anna. So we have here it has only 1 extra root letter, or extra letter, and here it has 2 extra letters. We have tashdid and we have hamza. If alalla nahwu, for example, itma'anna, to be satisfied, ishma'azza, to be disgusted, and iqsha'arra, to feel, to shiver. That basically means to shiver. And then we have if anlala. In if anlala, we have hamza is extra, and similarly we have noon extra into that. Nahwu, for example, ihranjama, that means to come together, and ifranqa is to disperse, so they have different meaning. Ihranjama is to come together, and ifranqa means to disperse. I think of these, like we have like how many? 6 abwab or 5, yeah. So this one is used a lot. Al-Rubai al-Mujarrad is used a lot in the Quran. And we have few verbs in the Quran that have been used on the pattern of if'alallah, as we have discussed previously. And inshallah, we will see and discuss more in the examples from the exercises. Istakhrij min ad-dars al-af'al al-ruba'iyyah. Now we have to derive the verbs that have 4 root letters, ومشتقاتها, and their derived forms. واذكر باب كل واحد منها, and then we have to mention whether they are rubai al-mujarrad or whether they are rubai al-mazid. So I have taken this from the lesson, or we have them from the lesson, as we can see over here. So tarjama fi'lun madin min babi fa'alala. So tarjama yutarjimu, and mutarjam is ismul maf'ul, as we can see over here, min babi fa'alala, something that is translated. Tarara is past tense, fi'lun madin min babi tafa'alala. Tafa'alala has only 1 extra letter, which is ta. And then we have yatma'innu, fi'l mudari, and this is min bab if'alalla. Itma'anna yatma'innu itmi'nanan. And then we have taqsha'irru, iqsha'arra yaqsha'irru, fi'l mudari min babi if'alalla. As we have these 2 verbs have been used in the Quran, and we discussed in the previous lesson as well. And also ishma'azza yashma'izzu, and we have ishma'azzat, fi'l madin min babi if'alalla, and this is also used in the Quran. And mu'askarun is ismu makanin, as we discussed today in the lesson, that it can also be used as ismu makanin. Basically it is ismul maf'ul, but also it can be ismu makanin min bab fa'lala. So fa'lala is the most commonly used bab from ar-rubai al-mujarrad. Okay, so now we have to تأمل الأمثلة ثم أكمل الناقصة. So we have to reflect on the examples and then we have to complete which is incomplete. So we have the past tense, al-madi, wal-mudari, wal-masdar. And you have seen that previously the Sheikh used to give us that we have to provide fi'l al-amr and fi'l al-nahi, but here he did not ask us. And the reason is why, because these are not used a lot, and similarly, fi'l yani al-amr and al-nahi has not been used in the Quran from these abwab. So that's why the Sheikh decided not to ask us to provide with the fi'l al-amr. However, if you want to do it by yourself, why not? So tarjama, yutarjimu tarjamatan or tarjamatun is to translate. And then we have ba'thara. So what will be the mudari of ba'thara?
Yub'athiru ba'tharatun.
Ba'tharatun, excellent. Ba'thara yubathiru ba'tharatun, to scatter. And then we have harwala. Yuharwilu. Harwalatan. Excellent. And harwala is used in the hadith. Inshallah, we will discuss it in the exercises. And then we have zalzala. Yes. Yuzalzilu. Zalzalatan wa zilzalan. Excellent. Yeah, as we discussed that. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it has masdarain. For example, waswasa, yuwaswisu, waswasatan, wa wiswasan. Yeah, excellent. And similarly, we have zalzala, yuzalzilu, zalzalatan, wa zilzalan. Excellent. Okay. Then we have tara'ra'a, yatara'ra'u, tara'ru'an. And this is mazid, yeah, ar-rubai al-mazid, and it has extra ta added to that. Extra ta is added to that. Okay, tarara, yatarara'u, tararuan, and then we have tamadmada, to wash the mouth.
Yatamadmadu.
Yes, yatamadmadu, excellent. Yes, yatamadmadu. And
difficult, no? It's very difficult.
yeah, it's like that's the Arabic language is really interesting. I mean, and it's not only, to be honest, it's not only the case with us, with the non-Arabs. I have seen, and alhamdulillah, I have listened to so many ulama over here. Even they have the issue of stammering and making mistake with, like, dhamma, fatha, and kasra, and they're always correcting themselves. So we don't really need to get like slightly, you say, like confused or disappointed, like it's too difficult. Of course not. And inshallah, we are trying our level best. So it will be tamadmudan, yeah. Tamadmada, yatamadmadu. And this is also used in the hadith and to wash the mouth. Then we have yatma'anna.
Yatma'innu.
Excellent. Itmi'nanan. And then we have to be comforted. And on this pattern, so here it has two extra letters. So we have Hamza, in fact, Hamza itself, and then we have Tashdid into that. Okay. And we have Ishma'azza, to detest or to hate. Excellent. Yes. Ishmi'zazun. Excellent. Ishmi'zazun. Excellent. Then we have Iqsha'arra, to shiver. Yaqsha'irru. Excellent. Iqshirarun. Okay. And then we have Ihranjama, Yahranjimu, Ihrinjamun. Together. And then we have Ifranqa.
Yafranqi'u. Ifrinqa'un.
Excellent. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Ifrinqa'un. So alhamdulillah, we have completed some of the exercises over here, and inshallah most of our job is done and a little bit is left. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to continue with this. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaykum salam.